This is the third of three introductory videos recapping the initial discussions of the Black Medics Forum associated with Doctors in Distress. The first discussion was held on the 3rd of December 2020, and this is a recap in three chunks to enable ease of access, to go over what we went over for those of you that missed it, for those of you who are interested, and for those of you who want to share it. The first two parts of this are available online, and they look at the needs to establish a Black Medics Forum, and they also look at how an individual's history might be associated with health concerns and negative health outcomes to do with being a Black doctor in the UK. My name's Leon Francis. I'm a consultant psychiatrist in adult psychiatry. I have a special interest in occupational health, and I am a clinician for the Practitioner Health Programme, which is an NHS service to support doctors and dentists experience a range of mental health and addiction problems. This session, or this section, is looking at how individual histories and global histories intertwine and can explain some of the experiences of our Black doctors, and also explain the effects that it might have on them. So as we know, academic attainment is a prerequisite for a career in medicine. And as we also know, the chances of securing such academic attainment is associated with certain environmental factors and schools in certain areas. So a Black British doctor may be experiencing these kind of images from a very early age, being quite isolated within their peer group. It continues through a period of youth, and it continues to the point of graduation. Now, this photograph is a photograph of Warwick Medical School graduation 2019, smack bang in the middle of the country, 4 miles away from industrial Coventry, not very far away from Birmingham. And so if you are Black and in this crowd, this isolation may also leak into social life and also feed into some identity assumptions within the workplace and some misunderstandings within the workplace. How did we get here? So globally, the concept of race was about dogs. It's the word race stems from the word raza, which is Spanish. And this concept started in Middle-aged Spain. And the reason for it was to differentiate between people from the Islamic world and people from Jewish heritage from Europeans. And what happened from those periods? What happened from the 15th, 16th, 17th century onwards? Well, globally, history suggests that the Islamic presence, the Jewish presence from the East was pushed eastwards through war, European craft, guile, dominance, some version of trade which might not have been fair trade. And so you can see how over time that might contribute to racism of a type. But when we're talking about racism of another type, when we go to the African continent, there was an approach that seemed to involve ownership, that involved degradation, that involved subordination, that involved building a global economy based on the movement and ownership and abuse of a certain type of people. Now, at the same time, the foundations of the guiding principles of our current truths and our current science were being laid down during the Enlightenment period, when certain attitudes started to be baked in to our science and our truth and our learning, such as Negroes learn like parrots, Negroes are stupid, Negroes can't self-govern. We have these ideas propagated by celebrated thinkers such as Kant, Hume, Hegel. There was a celebrated French philosopher, Descartes, who proposed that the color of somebody's skin or gender were not really valid criteria for the evaluation or the value of a person. These thoughts and these thinking processes occurred at the same time as significant British colonial expansion, and these thoughts were rejected by England. Beyond this, authoritative scientific institutions in the late 19th and 20th century, in the early 20th century, continued to proclaim Black people as being distinct species, Black people being close to apes, Black people being subordinate to Europeans. And not so long ago, as part of my attaining membership to the Royal College of Psychiatrists, I was expected to study and incorporate the work of the psychotherapist Jung into my practice. And Jung saw Black people as being primitive, Black people as being savage. Jung's models promote paired opposites, such as light and dark, virtue and non-virtue. So we can see how even some of the models that we are using today are not that far away from some of these historical and persistent undermining of the Black African presence. Benjamin Disraeli was Prime Minister twice towards the end of the 19th century, close friend to Queen Victoria, and an important founding member of the modern day Conservative Party. Yet he proclaimed that all is race. Again, we can see how these ideas of where Black Africans fit into the picture are quite difficult to challenge and quite difficult to dismiss. So if we're considering the ideas that we've just skirted on now, and also the considerations that we had when we were looking at the need for the Black Medics Forum, and also the health risks and health concerns associated with being a Black doctor in the UK, we can see how an individual's journey within a certain system, within our well-established structures, that fuel attitudes and maxims around us. We see how their origins are from Middle Ages and the Enlightenment and colonial expansion that we still sing about, that we still wave flags about. And we can see how these contribute to this health risk that very much needs addressing. So, is the Black Medics Forum going to change the world? Maybe not yet, but this is a place where experiences and problems can be identified and validated. It's a place where we can start to assimilate our understanding and assimilate the evidence into current working models and promote the use of current working models. It's a place where Black doctors can offer each other support and build resilience. It's a place where hopefully core beliefs, conditional beliefs, societal beliefs, and views of ourselves can be changed and corrected. Within this group, maybe we can develop the capacity to collect information and make a wider case that enables change. And that really concludes what we were talking about when we launched the Black Medics Forum at the beginning of December 2020. After that, the Black Medics Forum will continue to run initial group work for 7 to 8 weeks and continue to be there to support and promote and give some sort of hope to Black doctors who may be struggling with their Blackness in this country.